Barbershop Podcast, number 102. You gotta like 102. We sure as hell do.
I'm still getting used to 3 digits. It's still weird to me.
Yeah, I'm still trying to keep it as monosyllabic as possible. But Barbershop Podcast, from Boxo Studio, from Hamilton, Ontario, the blast furnace of live music, the very best in Hamilton music and musicians. Anywhere in the world, we go worldwide in high def and hi-fi. We bring it to you with love and with passion each and every week, and we get slicker than a $5 slicker, right? You know, we call it, yeah,
perfect.
So slicker. So I'm trying to fight the being under the weather. It's November, the Ides of November. November has Ides. Why should March shouldn't have the holy Ides? Anyway, we're all suffering. There's lots of love to be had, and we're going to have it tonight. Got a wicked little cool show for you. Tonight, Barbershop Podcast, you've seen the greats from here, there, everywhere, of every genre, of every era. What we have tonight is a gentleman that I had the pleasure of meeting. He came to my attention through a number of people, including the drummer on tonight's show, Nick Burson, who at various points over the last few months said, "Have you seen this Jesse kid?" And it's like, who? It's like, Jesse. Have you seen Jesse? Because there exists in Hamilton of open stages. Open stages at one point used to be somewhere where drunken college kids would go and big songs together and bring their girlfriends to try to impress them enough to get laid. But I remember in the 90s at La Luna, I mean, there was Jacob Moon and Tom Wilson and just incredible, talent in there. And for the price of one beer, you would sing a song and the bar owner would shoot you a pint. You could go in on a Tuesday night and see the most incredible original music and performers. And that tradition, certainly in Hamilton, has remained to this day. There's some people who knock open stages and say that it's not fair to musicians and that you should be paying musicians on a regular basis. But I know how hard it is to get anyone out on a weeknight. And the lure of an open stage, I want anyone who hasn't been to one in a while or anyone who has passed judgment to know that if you go to an open stage in Hamilton, you're likely to see some incredible music, acts that have been around, working on new songs for their new albums, relationships being forged, that true sense of, kinship, where people get together and make a connection, and you get to see it coming to you live on the stage. It's intoxicating. It's fantastic. And that's where tonight's guest kind of came to my attention. Lynn Beebe and probably 3 other people said that there's a fella who lived in Guelph who's come down to Hamilton for good reason. And I went and checked him out, and I talked to him. I said, Jesse, I want you on the podcast. I want you to kind of share what you do and have an opportunity to get yourself a wicked little recording. And sure enough, he picked some of the best musicians you can imagine to play with him. He's not a dummy, that's for sure. And he's not really a kid either, but as I said, anyone under 40 is a kid. Ryan Cannon, how are you doing tonight? And you brought your handsome assistant, Gary Greenland, in with you tonight. I know Heather Sinclair is going to be a little bit jealous because we're a little bit late tonight. She waits every night for Gary to return. But
well, if you consider how often we're late, we're really on time.
We are on time. That's when you get right down to it.
Business as usual.
Because we are streaming live on Twitch TV. That's Twitch TV. Twitch.tv is it slash or backslash? Slash.
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Cannon Ryan, because
you're never going to change it, are you? You fucking egomaniac, right?
They were supposed to email us so they could give us because they still hold our barbershop name hostage from Justin TV.
Do they want money?
I don't know. We should we'll do another one.
Yeah. We'll
put it on the list.
So, yeah, we have to, this is part of the thing we do here at Barbershop Podcast. We get the very best in free stuff available until they no longer offer it for free or it sucks so bad that we have to pay money for it. And over 2 years, we've gotten pretty good by keeping the free stuff that we could and upgrading the other stuff that we had to. But we're in a sweet spot right now. Anyway, We're going to get on with it. We're going to get on with the show, number 102. And Jesse McCrae is our guest tonight. He's brought in his friends Timothy Kulakowski and John LaBassiste and Nick Burson to play with him tonight. We're going to get a little bit of insights from everyone about their musical background. How you doing, Jesse? I'm glad you can make it in. I know you're pumped. You're excited, aren't you?
You know what? I wasn't feeling too comfortable before, but you're like so warm, so it's good. I feel comfortable.
I'm warm because I'm like huge, but I radiate.
Can I soak up some of that body heat?
I'm like a furnace, and despite it, but I know you were a little, you said, well, I don't have a lot of stuff down. I don't have a lot of stuff recorded. It's like, you know what I'm going is the magic. I would love to capture you at this early stage where you've got
super flattering.
Yeah, super.
Flattering.
I told him to tell you we were prepared, but
yeah, no. I like it. I like it that way. And just hearing you guys sound check. You brought some great guys. So tell me a little bit of background. You said, probably like you said, from the age of 4, you've been pretty sure what you're going to do with your life, right?
Absolutely. I remember singing in bed. My dad was either down the hall and it was at the foot of the bed, peeking at him and always singing along to his songs, but just listening to music before bed, singing along, kind of knowing there was something that I was special at. I knew I could sing really well, and I knew that music really made me feel the way nothing else in the world made me feel. So yeah, I knew there was something there from an early age for sure.
Yeah, and so you pursued it all the way through the early years. Did you take lessons formally or just banged on stuff?
Took a little piano lessons from probably 5 to 12. And then took a little break and wanted to learn guitar. So my dad put me in some rock and roll guitar classes. Pretty much bring a CD in and learn that song that day, and bring a CD in the next week and learn that song.
Yeah. That's nice. Being born after a certain year is cool because the poor kids, especially the immigrant kids who grew up in the 50s and 60s here, they had to play piano and accordion because the guitar was still a real badass kind of illegitimate instrument. It was like when you were like 13 and were like, I want to play guitar. It's like, you're probably going to grow your hair long and start being anti-establishment next, aren't you?
that's how it works.
That's how it works. So Timothy,
just here.
yeah. Were you always a guitar player?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was about like 10 years old.
You had a lust for the instrument, or it just was laying around the house?
No, I would say since I was probably I was a little kid when I decided I kind of wanted to play guitar, and then before I even had a guitar, I kind of knew that's what I'd end up to be doing. And then when I started playing guitar, I just fell in love with it, and I've been in love with it ever since.
And how did you hook up with Jesse?
Well, like you were talking about before, about the open mics and stuff. That's where I met most of the people who I play with now. So I met Jesse at I don't know if you've heard of the Homegrown Hamilton downtown on King William.
Oh yeah, bought some expensive coffee there yesterday.
Yeah, well that place is awesome,
is.
The jam there is really good. I met Jesse and I met the guys in my other band. I met them there too. So
go ahead, give it a plug. What's your other band?
It is what it is. We actually want to get on here too. So I'll talk to you after the show.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't doubt it. No, seriously, it's like there's a lot of great music, and I'm opening my eyes each and every day to how many great musicians there are, and everything begets something, and I haven't met a person in here I didn't like. I have to honestly say that. You kind of come by it honestly, and it's like being a biker or something. You bring 3 people with me, I assume these people are cool. Nobody's a piece of crap and nobody's a rat, and it's true. One musician, they bring in 4 people, those 4 people are great, and they all share the same ideals. John, you've got a reputation in town.
Why?
Yeah, you do. And even from Mr. Jack Pedler, who called today, he said, yeah, my friend's coming in and he's going to be playing some bass tonight with Jesse. If you know Jack Pedler, one of our early shows, he was on here, fascinating guy, probably the greatest drummer ever, period. And, super, super intelligent, smart guy. Love him. He's going to be coming up with a new project that he's been working on that's super hush secret, but imagine you'll see something at Barbershop Podcast in the new year. But you, John, people are saying, no, this guy is really good. And the story on you is you're like a metal guy. Those were your early passions, but you're now embracing all kinds of musical formats. What's your music background?
Started playing guitar when I was 11 or 12, and I've got a twin brother, and so we found my dad's 2 guitars in the basement, and one was like a 35-year-old Ibanez, and Jordan took that one and made that his, and I was stuck with the Framus. It was made out of plywood.
Yeah, I know the Framus. Love it.
Yeah, it was awful. I still have it to this day, actually.
Good man.
And I got bored of him getting way better than I was getting, so I was like, I'm gonna buy a bass. That's it. And punk rock and then jazz and funk and Primus ruined me for bass. I put a whammy bar on my 4-string. I bought a 6-string. I tore the frets out of that and I bought another one. I bought an upright, and then I got I want to buy a banjo bass next, but
cool.
I don't know. And I'm currently in a metal band with my brother. Well, hardcore something. He calls it progressive melodic hardcore.
Okay. No,
metal.
but you have to. You have to.
I know.
People are paying to do this, but for anyone other than you and your immediate people, you need 3 or 4 words that
Jazzy,
describe
bluesy,
what you
funky
do.
Pop. That's what we're
done.
playing, right?
Too many subgenres, anyway. And yeah, so I've always loved funky, jazzy, bluesy stuff, and just happened to play in a metal band, so jumped at the chance to.
And how did you meet, Jess?
I'm pretty sure we met at an open mic or something.
Probably the
It must
same
have been.
place.
Yeah.
Probably the same place Tim and I met. Homegrown.
Any chance we got to play together, we
did it. Yeah, because you know right away, right? The eyes meet across the room. And Nick, you know, your eyes have met across the room to Spring Chicken. You've been playing since you were really young with a lot of freaking amazing people, and you were one of the first people who said, "Have you seen this Jesse guy?" What was it about him that caught your eye when you first saw him?
Pop songs, I think.
That nobody does pop songs anymore, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard that.
And what are the elements of a pop song that different? No, I'm serious, because you're like, these are the things that we take for granted. But
Question.
You know, it's like a good pop song has to catch the ear of the uninitiated and also not offend the ear of the initiated. And it has to be infectious and it has to be directional, but it has to be stupid at the same time. That's my definition of a pop song.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Kevin.
It's gotta be cheese.
Pretty much.
It's gotta be.
You know.
All right. Well, instead of talking about it, let's hear some, okay? Because we want to get some good live music. We've only got one so far. No, we got one. We got one track and we got one video tonight, right? So we're going to do like a good bunch of live tunes, and they're going to have a real organic feel to them, and you're going to get an idea of just the kind of magic that happens. And we're going to let it flow right here at barbershoppodcast.com.
All right, guys, we're gonna do fun cues. Talking about pop.
This morning, had trouble stopping snoring. I think I ought to get myself a gun. There's no ignoring. Time spent was boring. Problems finding me the one. Sorry, was I slurring? Maybe a vision's blurring. I think it might be so. Now I'm led to cursing. I think it's you who nursing what I need, not what you know. I'm so confused. I am so confused. I'm so confused by you. I'm so confused. I am so confused. I'm so confused by you. tell you more than once. I'm almost tempted to W the dunce. Anticipated this for nearly 6 months, but it came crashing down like the weight of a ton. For some odd reason I know we're not done. For some odd reason I know what time will come. That's as long as you don't run from this flawless guitar that's already been strung. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I'm so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I'm so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused. I am so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I'm so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused by you. I am so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I'm so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I'm so fun-cused by you. I'm so fun-cused, I am so fun-cused, I'm so fun-cused by you.
Beautiful song. I'm so fun-cused by you. It speaks volumes. Jesse McCrae. Remember that name. He's here at Barbershop Podcast, where we sniff the wind and we know what's going on. Nick Burson, you've known me for a while. I'm a dangerous motherfucker, aren't I?
Can be on occasion, Kevin.
Nick believes in me. He said often, or he said early on, he goes, a lot of people talk a good game. Kevin tends to do it. And you know what? It's so easy to do. It's difficult to kind of get the framework up, but now that it's done, the people who come in here are inspiring every week. This is the kind of incredible talent you can see. You can follow these people. You can discover original, holistic, live, real music. It's happened with food. People understand that factory food is bad for you. They understand that things like GMOs and Monsanto is not good for you. They understand that multinationals running, fast food factories don't have your best interests in mind. And the same thing is with music. It's something that nurtures you. Be it your stomach, your body, soul. It's true. And there's been a deliberate dumbing down of music. And because certain people thought they had it by the balls because they controlled the outlets, right? I got the tap where the music comes out. Well, guess what? It's changed, right? It's not this radio station. It's not that TV station. It's the internet. Anyone like us can do this. You can be exposed to the real deal. You can now have real good, real live, original music. And we have it every week here at Barbershop Podcast. We've only got a couple. things that you've recorded. We're going to save them out. So I'm going to beat on it. That sounded really good. And if that's the first one that you've kind of come up with tonight, I can only imagine it's going to get better. Before we go to one of your recorded songs, or we go to speak about one of our sponsors, I'd love you to do another live number. It's not to say you're not interesting, but your playing is way better. So whenever you're ready to give us another one. Yeah, go ahead. Lay it on thick. I know the people at home are probably fast forwarding already. You're looking.
This one tells more of a personal story. Like, I think the last one's just sort of, your typical, you're confusing me right now, woman.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about if you want to talk about the songwriting, that's always interesting to me. Sometimes it's painful for people, and they're like, it's hard enough to write the song. I don't want to talk about it.
That's all I'll say. It's pretty. Yeah, it tells my story for the last 13 years.
Nice.
Last hit. One last hit.
Positive memorabilia. These comes in mittens and then you will feel distinguish between what's fake and is real. What I would do for one last hit, find it impossible to quit. The first step is to admit what I would do for one last hit. Case reopens another appeal. Feeling the fan and the client who steals, taking a spin on the Price is Right wheel. I feel I've taken several last meals, but I would do for one last hit, find it impossible to quit. The first step is to admit what I would do for one last hit. Impossible to quit. The first step is to admit what I would do for one last hit. What I would do for one last
Oh, what I'd do for one last hit. You get it here each and every week at Barbershop Podcast. First, second, third, fourth, and last hit. Beautiful, original, passionate music from the blast furnace of live music, Hamilton, Ontario. If you've been to Canada, you should go to Canada and you should come to Hamilton. It is smoking, and not the way we used to be smoking, but smoking in a much better sense. You like wordplay. I like the way you write. You have to be evocative and you have to be reaching out to people, but it has to tell your own story. You've been a writer since the early days, or was it a struggle, or did it come easy? What's your writing story?
Old, first song probably.
Yeah.
And it was a song about that struggle. It was a song called Pain and Fears, and it was about getting over drugs.
Yeah.
Or learning how to cope with it, really.
Yeah.
At that time.
Well, I'm telling you, it's all tied. People who don't understand, who can like look at someone who's an alcoholic or a drug addict, or someone who has a penchant to drink or drug, they don't understand that thin line between vulnerability and creativity, and it's in all of us. And there's some people who have to say goodbye to it forever. There's some people who live a tenuous relationship with it, but it's part of being from the creative class, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, for sure. I think my dad's a musical genius, musical playwright. Definitely runs in the blood. It's a gift. I know when certain people say, "You wrote that song?" I could not imagine writing a song. But the thing is, I think almost anybody could do it if they understood the structures of it and at least get some words down and be part of the writing of the song. But I know I'm lucky enough to be able to maybe piece it all together and stuff.
Yeah, and I
have so much to learn.
I look at it like a farmer, especially like an old school farmer who would raise these calves and love them and give them names and this and that, and then they butcher them. At the end of the day, they're going to eat this cow, but it wasn't just a number. This was something that was, and this is your song too. When you create a song, it has to be, nurtured, but at the end of the day, you have to be willing to dissect it if it's not working. You have to be willing to take criticism or be critical of your own work to work it. They rarely come out that good, right?
Yeah, criticism
right
is so welcomed, I think, for me.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes don't think people even give honest criticism. It's really hard to get honest criticism.
People are scared of hurting people's feelings.
Yeah, but don't, I like to say don't worry, but of course my feelings might be hurt. But I'd love more. I feel like people are just like, that was great, your voice was great, this is great, this is great. It's like, no, I know, you know what, maybe I don't even need the criticism in most places because I know where I'm faltering. Yeah. But I think some people, they back away from giving that, and I'm sure most of us welcome it. Right?
People who like you must compare you to people. Is there people that bug you that they compare you to, and people who you like they compare you to?
I guess it never bugs me because they're comparing me to someone successful.
Famous, right? Yeah.
But I get the Maroon 5, Adam Levine. I get him a lot. I get James Mayer sometimes. I get Ed Sheeran sometimes. All pop, at the pop level, but still really great songwriters.
Great songwriters, and there's a reason why they have longevity in their career. They're not footnotes. These people, like, even in today's age, to have a 5-year career is pretty freaking awesome. Where it's like, so forget me. And I can tell you guys have got a nice synergy. You hook in really well. And I know for being a producer and doing work here, that's everything. I have a songwriter come in, and 80% of the time I have the players self-produce. They hear it. They know what they're supposed to play. And only 20% of the time do I change anything. I guess that's a big part for you too. It's like you can tell when they get what you're doing, right? Yeah,
there hasn't been a lot of suggestions as to changing the structure of the song, but this is like 3 weeks fresh. We've met each other recently, Nick and I, and this is me saying, please guys, because I don't think I want to do it alone. I think I want to look, I want to look better, feel better. This is great. And I think
that's great.
Said, I couldn't have picked a better group of guys. Incredible at what they do.
You know who's loving it is one of our sponsors. I want to talk about sponsor, Hamilton Artists. They have been with us, and they are believers in what we do because we're believers in what they do. If you want to print anything on anything, you want to look up hamiltonartist.ca, 1141 Main Street East at Balmoral. They're right there at the Delta, at the Magic Delta here in Hamilton, where King and Main collide, where north becomes north and south becomes north. If you're from Hamilton, you get the idea. If not, look them up. They're right here on our website. You can pop that into your toolbar, hamiltonartist.ca. They print everything on anything. That's where art and music collide. We're talking T-shirts, buttons, mouse pads, stickers. We're talking giant banners. They have the big machine in there now. If you want something to make a banner that's going to cover the side of your barn, yeah, they can do that now. We're talking a $25,000 machine. That's someone who has a commitment to what they're doing. On top of all the other thing they have in there, they have custom apparel. If you have an idea, like for me, my dad's in town and he's kind of going through a thing and he goes, do you know anyone who can do this, put this on a T-shirt? It's like, do I ever? And I went in there and we did 3 of them and they're like, well, do you want to put a background on it? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And they're absolutely accommodating. Great people. Our sponsors, highly recommend them. HamiltonArtist.ca, 1141 Main Street East in Hamilton, Ontario. They will ship to you wherever you are in the country. Talk to them. No order too big, no order too small. HamiltonArtist.ca. All right, we're going to do one of your many famous recordings. We didn't know which one we were going to go with. There were so many. We had to actually use a pitchfork to get through the pile of recordings.
Oh, boy.
No, he's like, it's this fresh. I just love it. Like Jesse come down from Guelph. He's here in the Hammer now. You got to unhook your mic there, Nick. Yeah, you're gonna get hung up on society. And he came down here and I said, what have you got? Like bring in a couple. Do you have anything on CD? Well, no, I got a bit here and there. So it's when you hear this, all of you out there go, wow, like this guy should be world famous. These people should be world famous. Yes, they should. But it all starts somewhere, and it starts in a belief in yourself and hooking up with the right kind of people and being at the right place at the right time. But we do have a little bit that has been put down. First one's a little recording you made called Sleep at the Wheel. Is there a story with that one? Self-explanatory?
Yeah, it tells itself, but it does tell itself. I hope an ex-girlfriend and I just, I felt we were just constantly, sometimes I feel people arguing while we're arguing. We're like, what the fuck? What am I doing right now? Like, this is so stupid, but we still do it. It's like we're on autopilot to just, just flick it off and just argue. It's like, easily flick that switch off.
And be asleep at the wheel. Hence the name of the song. So Ryan Cannon, whenever you're ready, roll that here at barbershoppodcast.com.
Station, screaming sex in neon green. My solo bottle cap collections loving me. And art on walls, it shows I've acted carelessly. There's no denying things that lacked consistency. Meaningless words of mine are finally plain to see. With little action, think how perfect life could be. A chatted to, a date of 3, a Christmas tree. I'll show you everything and more if you'll agree. Can you see we fell asleep at the wheel? Open our eyes, give it a feel. Can you see we fell asleep at the wheel? Let's give it one more chance to show we're the real deal. It's not so simple, I know. Let's take it slow. I think we know in both our hearts just how to go about business and keep all the bull at bay. You keeping on, keeping strong, you what I say. I'll give you time, I'll give you space. I won't rely on you in any given way. A favor's nothing when I'm doing it for you. I sure as hell confirm that I owe you a few. Can you see we fell asleep at the wheel? Open our eyes, give it a feel. Can you see we fell asleep at the wheel? Let's give it one more chance to show we're the real deal.
Asleep at the wheel. Well, we're not asleep at the wheel. Our Barbershop Podcast, we are sharp as a tack.
I'm asleep at the wheel.
Are you asleep at the wheel, Ryan Cannon? Because you have no excuse to be asleep at the wheel because you have been doing nothing for the last, 2 weeks now? You've been grinding it out. We won't get into details, but you've had a stressful little existence lately, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been ridiculous. I've been doing some stuff at work, but it's over today, and I'm glad, and everything went our way.
Everything went his way, so all of his efforts were not in vain.
Go Cupie.
Go Cupie, and he's it's like he worked his bit and he got her done. Good for the patients and the people of hospital systems in Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah. And
glad that we could have such a good time here at Barbershop Podcast. We do that every week. We bring you a little insight, a long-form interview, try to find out a little bit about these people that bring what I consider the most accessible art form to the public. Music can get to your soul in any number of ways. If you're listening, if you're feeling, even if you're not particularly engaged, it has a way to get to you. And I love it for that. And we love the fact that Jesse McCrae could come in and he actually took the effort to get a hold of the people he wanted to play with and said, listen, I'm going to be on Barbershop Podcast. I want to do some tunes. Can we get together? Can we work it out? And they did it. So you're hearing the end result. And to you, it sounds so incredibly polished and finished and wonderful. But I know the kind of early stage this union is. And I am tickled pink. For me, this is the best. This is a really nebulous stage. That is beautiful. And I know it's going to blow up into something really great. You're going to do a little song called Pearl? Is that what you're going to do?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to bring the jazzy, we're going to change it up a little.
All right.
I think song's a feeling, and this feeling's just that feeling when you meet someone and you just know it's going to work. You already know you guys are going to at least be together for one night, never mind.
Yeah, but it's going to be magic that night.
It's called a Pearl.
can see things clear. None of this seems real. I'm a great big sap, and here's proof of that. Get down on my knees, ask you to be married with me. Explain to me how I won't have to beg you, please. How could this possibly be? Well, I can set things straight. I don't just want one date. I'm a great big sap, and here is proof of that. Contain myself now. I see no need to sit and pout. Explain to me how I'm supposed to put the pen down, not spill my thoughts out of my mouth. Well, I don't need to plead. Both you and I see that I'm a great big sap, and there was proof of that.
About a magic night, about a magic time, about that. We all know it. At least we remember it, right? Old guys. Nick, right? We're going to go back to the old days. There's always hope. Believe in love and the possibilities and the future and the beauty of things. And Jesse McCrae is helping us do that tonight. Very pleased to have Jesse McCrae in the house and bringing along with him just a smoking band. You guys are just fantastic, hooking in and making the songs come alive and in full dimensional properties. I'm a big lover of singer-songwriter stuff. Someone wants to sit with a guitar and play. I get that. I like it. But to have full orchestration is fantastic. I mean, when you actually combine the instrumentation, because I understand it affects you physically to hear the drums and to hear the bass. And when you start working in production, it's kind of like a butcher looking at a side of beef, and you understand the principles and what service those chunks of meat serve, when why this part is tender and this part will do this and this part will do this. But together, when it's mixed together, that's the kind of magic. And you can break it down into parts, but to have a rhythm section that has the push and has the pull, but also is melodic enough, and you're a really tasty guitar player. I mean, it's like that's the one thing. All three guys you picked are incredibly tasty.
Tasty, I like
you know, and it's like to have one or two tasty guys is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, especially with your style, to have three players who none of you step on anyone's toes. Like, all of you play exactly what you have to play at the volume and the intensity, and with the space to allow everyone else to play. I have no doubt I'm going to record you guys in the future. I mean, would be a thrill for me to record you guys here, because, you know, you've got the sort of properties about you which make the metrics really appealing. It's great. It's really great, and you get to enjoy it right along with me, and I'm sure Ryan. I know Ryan loved the Varga and loved the hard and heavy metal, but you gotta like the vagina music tonight, right, Ryan? It's like, because I like my vagina music like anyone else.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Yeah, you know what? Seriously,
that sets up the next song.
Yeah, it makes me, you know, and like, that is like, and if you think right away that's disrespectful, then why do you disrespect vaginas? I don't.
Check the population statistics in 9 months.
Yeah. I think it's seriously. She will grab you and say, "I need some Jesse McRae." Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff for both sides of us. You got a little video. We're gonna play a little dirty video, and it's not really that dirty, other than it's been kicking around the internet for a while, and we were trying to get as much material as we could to throw out there to spread out the live stuff. And he said, "Well, I got a video out there. What's the story on the video we're gonna hear?"
Definitely a hallucinogen-induced state of mind where it's just peace, make love, not war. What's wrong with everybody? Why can't we all just get along? That sort of thing.
Wonderful. You know, I could think of worse things. Seriously, you know, I'm all about that, and I'm glad you are too. And I'm glad you're here watching us here at barbershoppodcast.com. This is a little beauty called Changes from Jesse and the rest of us here at Barbershop Podcast. On this one. Barbershop podcast where it's fun all the time, 24/7. Don't worry about your mics right now. Now we're gonna play some live music. And then that way we can get out of having to like talk to me or to you or to, God forbid, Ryan or Gary, who I want to thank, do the technical end of this each and every week. Let's have a big round of applause for Mr. Ryan Cannon and Mr. Gary Greenland, who make it sound and look so good every week. I say it's like a train here. I am the conductor and he's the engineer. He can drive it, no one on it, don't matter. I can put people on it. If it don't go nowhere, don't matter. We do it together. It's community. We work with each other. We build on each other's strengths. That's the kind of community we have here. And we talk about real things, real feelings. Shit. You could spend time watching, Honey Boo Boo, or you could go out to a club and listen to some real live music. Decide what you want to do with your life, how you want to grow your brain. We hope you do it this way. I'm going to give you a couple more songs from Jesse McCrae and his band of badasses that he brought in here tonight. And I'm so glad that we've had the opportunity to bring them to you. So without further ado, Mr. Jesse McCrae.
Cause the message sent is cryptic and my brain's no longer with it. Love you since the beginning. In the end I see me winning. Precious gifts I feel you bringing. My emotions are caught singing. Loving you ain't easy cause you're mystical. My mindset's real willing yet unpractical. I hope activities I do will render still the state that life's beings call critical. When in pain I stab it, releasing stinging havoc while while I'm standing in the traffic of an unquenchable palate. So I drop my rubber mallet and I drench my rusty palate while the seeds of love inhabit my skin and organs last. It's loving you ain't easy 'cause you're mystical, straight from your bones right down to your cuticles, utterly inexcusably beautiful. I have a hard time avoiding your magnet's pull. Forget to mention that the rain is dripping tension while I'm caught in suspension since the gods themselves had sent them. Masturbation's wealth is like procrastination's shelf. The longer you hold out, you're just still screwing yourself. I think of you in twilight, I dream of you in skylight. I hope someday that we might rejoice and make love so right. I feel so good with you, I know that I'll have you. Anxiously waiting, can't do everything that I have to. Loving you ain't easy 'cause you're mystical. Though I am not with you, I still miss you so. I feel I'm living my life in a cubicle. You're making my heart walk around from to to fro. I hope this empty feeling in my stomach sets. We haven't even spent an evening alone yet. We'll wrap up in each other's arms like lover pets. But in the end I hope to get you good and wet. Sorry guys. Odd ending.
But beautiful nonetheless. Here, Barbershop Podcast. I'll tell you the very best of live music coming to you from Hamilton, Ontario. Boxo Studio in the shadow of the mountain. I tell you, if you want to record something great, you come to Boxo Studio. I'll tell you that much. I mean, you're listening to it right now. Sounds pretty good, right? And that's on the fly. Mind you, it's on the fly with a lot of technological expertise, kind of like Boeing or McDonnell Douglas as opposed to kid with a paper airplane. But flight, nonetheless, is something magic, isn't it, when you take off? Tell me about, before we go into the last little song, and I want to talk about our other sponsor, Shenanigans. But leading into it, I want to talk about music. And for you, what's the connection? I'll start with you, Nick. You know, you've been doing it forever. You got a million reasons not to do it. Why do you still do it? I've
been doing it longer than all of these guys have been alive.
Put together.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an ice cream man when I was a kid. To be honest,
it's a good gig when you get down to it.
Quite fancied that, but I ended up playing drums. Yeah, I listened to a lot when I was a kid. You know, Mum and Dad were playing music all the time, and on the radio. And my Dad played piano, Mum sang. Gran played piano. So it's in my genes, really. You know.
Yeah.
Never really thought about it, just did it.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky to, meet a bunch of people in Hamilton. It's great.
Well,
I play good music.
I always hark back to that Rattle and Hum movie in 1989 when Larry Mullen Jr. was talking about watching those Elvis movies when he was a kid, and Colonel Tom put Elvis in these series of movies, and he was a race car driver, or he was this, or he was that, but he was always a musician. No matter what he did that gig because he was a musician, and he only raced a car because he was actually trying to make enough money so he could continue to do his shtick as a musician, and that stuff kind of continues. And I've met a lot of people, incredibly talented musicians along the way, who just said, you know what, I can't do this. I got to be a real estate agent. I got to be a teacher. I got to grow up, quote unquote, at a certain point. And there's other people that were like, you know what, it's like, I understand that what I'm giving up versus what I'm getting doesn't rectify with me, and it's like, I need to feel that I'm doing what I'm meant to do. And a lot of these musicians, They don't do it because they want to. They do it because they have to.
Built India.
Yeah, and then a lot of them are quiet introverts, and to get up on stage guts them. And the people don't understand. It's like, why does that person have such a addiction problem, or why is that person so
running after a ball? I don't think they want to run after the ball.
Yeah,
he has to. It's genetically, it's, not again. Fuck me, you go.
And this is something that took me a while to realize, because I myself, when I would read about Richard Manuel, I would read about whatever artists who would get physically ill, they would throw up, and these people have been playing for 20 years, and they're still getting sick from being so nervous about being on stage, that it started to dawn on me. And it's like, this is not, it's so easy to think that it's like you've got the end result in mind and you work all the way to get to that point where I want to be in the spotlight and I want to be a hero. But I think being in the spotlight and being a hero is the furthest thing in the mind of the true artist. They just want to.
That's the thing, that, sorry to cut you off, the people that give it up and, I should become a real estate agent, they're the ones that want to be rock stars and then realize after 15 years, shit, I'm not going to be a rock star. The ones that keep going are the ones that, like you said, can't help but play music.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, as far as being nervous goes, we were talking about that before, we started all of this today. I'm nervous before every show I play, and it's just one of those things,
Yeah.
Once you're on stage and you're playing music, everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like that. It's like if you go to bed with someone and it's old hat, it feels like old hat. If it's scary, it's amazing. Well, not Gomeshi is scary, but just like I worked it in, Ryan. I worked it in like a Gomeshi. No. I wrecked it, didn't I? No, we can only dent it and damage it here at Barbershop Podcast. We can't wreck it. God knows. Well, we're getting close to the end of the show. We're going to play one more song, but I want to talk about Shenanigans. Shenanigans came on board because they walked into HamiltonArtist.ca to get their shirts and their other stuff done, and they got a big screen at HamiltonArtist.ca, and they've got Barbershop Podcast. And the owners, Kevin and Cass, came in there and they looked at it and they said, "What's this?" And they told them what Barbershop Podcast was, and they said, "We want to be on that." And they got a hold of me, and they have been ever since. And they're run an establishment, and it's at 1305 Main Street East, right across from Delta High School, just past Graham Avenue. It used to be, for the locals, it used to be DiMaggio's, used to be Ronnie G's. But what it is now is what it used to be. If you remember Hamilton in the 80s and 90s, when you could go in after work and have a beer, and I'm talking pints are $3.75. So, we're not talking big money, $3.75 for a pint of beer. You get 2 pounds of wings for $11. And they made our pizza, and that's part of our deal with the sponsorship, is they give us pizza. Every time someone comes in, it's like, that's the best pizza I've ever had. It's great pizza. They get the dough in fresh. The food is fantastic. And, if you're someone... It's not a music club. They're not the kind of people who got involved in the show because they're into artsy-fartsy music. They have got disc jockeys. They've got their pool night. They've got their dart night. Some guys go in on Sunday to watch the ball game. But it's like it used to be, and they understand how rich the Hamilton music community is. They understand those people, and the fans of those people like the things that they like, and they wanted to be part of it. And they've been great sponsors, and I want to give a big shout out to Shenanigans at 1305 Main Street East, Hamilton, Ontario. Go in there, tell them, if you go in and you heard about it from us, say, you know what, I'm a fan of Barbershop Podcast. I'm in here. I like your place. Say hi to Kevin, say hi to Cass. They're great people. Ryan Cannon, I know we've had a few good nights. We've pulled some shenanigans over the last little while, haven't we?
Not me lately, but yeah, we've had a couple shenanigans nights there.
And it's great. It's really it's like it is in the old days, and I'm so proud that they're one of our sponsors, because they get us, and all of our sponsors get us. We've got a couple more who actually want to get on board, and I probably turned down, 6 weeks of advertising because I'm just too lazy to go and sign them up. I'm having too much fun doing the show and not doing it for the money. But the people who do get on board all get what we're doing, and they get why we're doing it. And why we're doing it is because we believe in it, and what we believe in is free expression, true artistic art forms, community, people, and the power of the possibility. I mean, 2 years ago, Ryan Cannon, where were we? We were nowhere. We hadn't started yet. We were 2 weeks away from our first show.
Well, no, I think we'd tried at this point. I think we're around the 2-year anniversary of our first failure.
Our first failure, yeah. And I don't even call it a failure. I call it a demi-success. Yes. It was it was a warm-up on the way to where we are now. And it's funny because now it seems so easy, and it kind of is. You know, it used to rip the shit out of us. I mean,
Not from this side of the wall.
Yeah, you know, compared to what it was, I remember there were some scary days. But now
the pre-Gary days.
Yeah, the pre-Gary days. You get a pro like Gary, and Gary used to work in this thing that we used to have called radio back in the old days, because people will be watching this in the next 50 years, right? Because we're on the internet, right? It's forever. That's another thing. If you're an advertiser on Barbershop Podcasts, you don't get put in the blue bin. You get on the internet. It's forever. People are going to know about your show, even if, you know, your ex-wife takes the business from you and it's no longer there.
Radio was great. I remember listening to Liverpool in the European Cup in the 70s on the radio. I had a radio about that big. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Couldn't see anything, but it was very exciting. Very exciting.
You could see movement.
And the commentators were really good because they had to describe everything.
You did, yeah, and it was true. You had to be very vivid in your descriptions. Well, my vivid descriptions tonight are 4 gentlemen who have come together relatively recently and yet have a cohesive music style, who are hooking into Mr. Jesse McCrae, a fellow from Guelph, Ontario, who is now proudly on our part, a Hamiltonian. And he's here at Barbershop Podcast. He's going to play one more song for us before we check out tonight. Look him up. Come talk to me about him. Come check him out at Hello Cat Piano every Tuesday night for the most part at the St. Hollywood, 345 James Street North. Good stuff happening all the time.
Paranoia gets the best of me. I like it when everything means something. Thought that's the way it'd be. I guess we always wake out of a dream. I want you here with me, happily, endlessly. Oh, baby bird, don't fly away. You show me signs, you give me meaning. This feels so right. the time. You show me signs, oh yeah. You show me signs. Feels like I'm dreaming most of the time. Feels like I'm dreaming most of the time. Feels like I'm dreaming most of the
Lose yourself.
You show me signs, you give me meaning, this feels so right. You show me signs, feels like I'm dreaming most of the time. You show me signs, oh yeah. You show me signs, feels like I'm dreaming most of the time. Uh-oh. Move slow. Uh-oh. Move slow.
Oh, we move slow, we move fast, we move everything in between. Jesse McCrae here at Barbershop Podcast, episode 102, along with Timothy Kulakowski, John LaBassiste. And I'm telling you, John LaBassiste, he is the motherfucker of the bass players. You like him. And Mr. Nick Burson, my favorite drummer in all of Hamilton, and that's saying something. He's a great man and a great drummer. Bring him in here for everything, and he's never disappointed. Jesse McCrae, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Oh man, it's been great. Ryan Cannon, were you blown away a little bit? Kind of good, eh? I thought you were.
I always am. Yeah.
I know he always is. He's just like, whatever.
I'm
It'll
trying
be
to
good.
work the cameras, work the mic.
Do this, work the mic,
You want
work
me
it
to
back and
talk
forth.
too and be
Yeah, you're
interesting
probably doing crank or something back there too. I don't know what goes on back there anymore. Frankenstein.
The Frankenstein.
Well, you know what?
Goofballs.
We
We're
are
cranking the
purveyors.
goofballs.
We are purveyors of fun.
Yeah.
Here at Barbershop Podcast. Good times, good people, good music, each and every week. Tell your friends about it. It won't kill you. Take care.
Cadillac heading up over the ride. There's a kind of truth in my life that I'm doing what needs doing. Come on, baby, don't you act this way.